Hi, welcome back to Manic Max. Today we're here talking about Anthony Horowitz, his books, his movies, and shows that he's worked on over the past nearly, I'd say, like 35 years, probably. He's been writing for a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, he's had books from the early 80s.
Yo, that's over double my age.
So I do have some notes with me today so I know what to talk about and I'm not kind of just going off track. So first off, I'd like to talk about the Alex Rider series, which is no doubt his most famous book series. We have the only Alex Rider book we have with me today is Archangel. I have all of the others. This is the 6th Alex Rider book, and it came out in 2006, which I think almost every Alex Rider fan could agree is the worst year for Alex Rider, because this is the worst Alex Rider book. This book is all it says at the back is, the sniper's bullet nearly killed him, but Alex Rider, teen super spy, survived just in time to intercept the kidnapping of billionaire Nikolai Drevin's son. Drevin's been targeted by a group of deadly eco-terrorists who think nothing of killing millions to achieve their goals, unless Alex can stop them in time. So guess what Drevin's making? If you guess,
Donuts.
Well, let's see. If in 2006 you were trying to make something that was good, would you A, choose a villain to make a literal space hotel on the moon, or B? Congratulations, if you chose A, you are correct.
Dang, I chose B.
Oh
man.
Yep, a space station, a space hotel on the moon. He goes to the moon. Why does he do that? Drevin is also, they kill the villain in every single Alex Rider book. And Stormbreaker, spoilers obviously, Herod Sale, not Darius Sale, 2006 Alex Rider Operation Stormbreaker movie is killed by the assassin Yasin Grigorovich when he's shot twice on the roof of a business building.
I just invented a word. Point
blank, Hugo Grief is killed when a snowmobile crashes into his helicopter. Skeleton Key, I forget what his name was. I think it was like Alexei or something. He shoots himself in the head and dies. Eagle Strike, which is the best Alex Rider book by far. The villain is he's thrown into a jet turbine.
What if some people out there want to read this?
Scorpio, she's the villain in that she's crushed by a falling satellite. So
wait, I thought that was this
pretty
one.
dumb and cartoony. This one, no. He ties canoes to the bottom of the plane that Drevin is flying in, and the canoes get caught on 2 passing trees, pull the bottom out from the plane, and he falls.
Okay.
That is the most cartoonish Looney Tunes stupid death. Snakehead, I forget how the villain dies in Snakehead.
No.
Oh, he has like a brittle bone disease where he ends up getting hit by a big wave, and it shatters his bones and all his bones, and he dies. Crocodile Tears, I think he's like killed in an explosion. Well, he doesn't actually die in the book. It's only mentioned in the next one that the villain that's dead. Then in Scorpio Rising, he's like disintegrated or something like that. Never Say Die, they're all killed in a train crash. And I haven't read the newest one, Nightshade. I didn't know that one was a thing. But, and Russian Roulette is pretty much just a prequel to the series, doesn't really count in the whole main order of things, but this is a horrible book.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Is that right?
Well, this is the worst Alex Rider book. Eagle Strike, the 4th book, is without a doubt the best. It's got the best villain. He's a multi-millionaire singer he's like an anti-drug activist, and in his mind, drugs are ruining the world. And so what he does is he tries to nuke the main places in the world in which drugs are manufactured and grown, which kind of has to be stopped. Then again, is that really all that bad? I mean, he'll kill a couple people and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's the worst Alex Rider book, Archangel. Let's move on to the movie.
This one was pretty
Operation Stormbreaker.
Did you even watch
also from 2006. Also from 2006, the same year that came out. This is a horrible movie, and I gotta say though, Ewan McGregor is a pretty good Uncle Ian for the 2 seconds he's in the movie, and whenever I always pictured Alicia Silverstone as Jack, so she was definitely the perfect choice to play Jack. They put Sabina from Skeleton Key in this one for no reason. That girl's also a horrible actress. Literally the worst actress in the world.
Wait, if you're a spy.
Yeah, wait, you're really a spy? It's the dumbest, stupid. I hate it.
It was so bad.
The acting in it all is really
It's
bad.
better than the
It
show.
ruins my favorite character, who's Smithers who designs the gadgets at MI6.
It was better than the show.
The only thing about Smithers really, his only like real character trait is he's fat. He's the fat guy in MI6. He doesn't go on any missions or anything.
We're not talking about the same
Yes,
series.
I'm sure. Then he's like the only person that Alex can trust, really. He's the nice guy. The only one who really ever tells Alex what's going on throughout the series. This one, he's pretty much just... Stephen Fry plays him off as this cold, rude character, and that's not how he was. At least he was fat, unlike the guy who plays him in the TV show, because the TV show from 2020, which focuses on the second book, Point Blank, is horrible. I watched 2 episodes and I hate it. The second episode, they make Smithers a field agent for some reason, have him completely lied about Alex and everything, threaten to shoot Alex in the head, make him thin, like so thin, and it's not like, it's not, I can't, like, I'm losing my train of thought, and he's not, that once again, that's his only character trait, that he's fat. So why would you go and immediately do the opposite thing? Cast the exact opposite person of Smithers and have him be played by a thin guy. Like, I don't... Okay, so then we get to,
Did you get a little stage right there? Why'd you not?
The Diamond Brothers, Diamond's Edge, which was made in 1988, is a pretty terrible movie. When you put this as the cover of your movie, you shouldn't go in expecting something that good. The book, Diamond's Edge is based off of the first Diamond Brothers book, The Falcon's Malteser, from 1986, I believe. It's a pretty terrible movie. The only actor of note that I can think of who's in this is Roy Kinnear, who played Veruca Salt's dad in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Really?
Did I mention this? Boo.
He's only in the movie for like 5 seconds.
Did I mention this?
You didn't watch the movie, you can't say that.
I watched it.
He
I
watched the
a
movie.
corner of it.
No. This movie is also surprisingly a bit violent. It literally ends with a shootout in a graveyard where like every villain dies. It's weird. I did laugh really hard at the part where the hotel almost burns down, and Nick, the main character's older brother, who is a private detective, who's the worst private detective in the world, is carried out on a stretcher with a sheet over his face, and the police inspector asks if that's the guy who was murdered, and he says, no, that's the detective. Pull it off. He says, oh god. Tim is a dumb detective. However, Tim is significantly more likable in this than Nick, who is the main character here. He comes off as so cocky, full of himself, and annoying. However, my main complaint for this movie is the acting. It's actually probably one of the best book-to-movie adaptations I've ever seen. However, the acting really killed it.
Wrong. Harry Potter's the best book to movie yet.
So the Diamond Brothers. Let me check my notes here. They have like 7 different stories. A couple of them are short stories. They have Falcon's Malteser, Public Enemy #2, which we'll get to in a minute. South by Southeast, The French Confection, I Know What You Did Last Wednesday, which is one of my favorite stories ever. I want to talk it's Tam's high school friends and him are all invited to a high school reunion on an island by their rich friend, and it's his private island. And when they go there, they can no longer find him.
Oh, yeah, that was
he's not there. You can't see. He's nowhere to be seen. and then they decide to split up and search the castle on his island to find out where he is. And things take a turn for worse when they open his bedroom and find him mutilated, torn apart, limb from limb in his bedroom. And then shortly after, all the other characters start getting killed as well. And soon Nick quickly realizes that they're all being killed in accordance to to their major in high school, what class they were best at. Like one guy, he's gonna get killed historically. Another one's gonna be killed musically, globally, because geography. Is that what it? Geography. Athletically, and that guy, they throw a javelin through his chest. So.
Found him dead in the bushes.
Yeah, the villain, spoiler alert, turns out to be no one who had actually really been on the island. It was actually their old friend who got second in every single class, and he was jealous about that. He actually turned out to have been the guy who sent them to the island in disguise, and turned out he had killed the other guy, the owner of the island, weeks ago before he did that.
Okay, you can stop.
I like that. And then there's Greek Who Stole Christmas and The Blurred Man, and there's another one he's been teasing that's supposed to come out in full this year, but he says when the pandemic is over. So at this point, I mean, I guess things are kind of winding down.
Maybe 5 years.
I don't know. His standalone books include The Devil and His Boy, which is a really, really good book. It's about
The Devil and His Boy.
No, they put on a play, The Devil and His Boy, but the play is like a front to assassinate like the Queen of England or something, so that they can get into Buckingham Palace and kill her. But the main character figures that out and has to stop them. It was a really good book. Grewsome Grange, which came out in 1988, and Grewsome Grange, The Unholy Grail here, which is the sequel. I wish there had been more sequels.
Books.
Well, it pretty much is a standalone book. Then
He's
Bloody
a liar.
Horowitz, which is a collection of short horror stories. One of them in particular is actually kind of scary. He writes the James Bond books now. He wrote Trigger Mortis and Forever and a Day, and a new one comes out in May 2022. Then he wrote Sherlock Holmes. He read Sherlock Holmes, House of Silk, and Moriarty are the books of Sherlock Holmes he's written. Then, so let's get to Public Enemy number 2, the second Diamond Brothers book, which other people on YouTube have reviewed this before. They haven't gotten that many views or anything, so yeah, But here's the tag. Here's what it's about on the back. Framed for a jewel robbery, Nick Diamond finds himself sharing a prison cell with Johnny Powers, Public Enemy number 1. His only chance of escape is his older brother Tim, the world's worst private detective. But with Ma Powers and her gang waiting to greet the jailbirds, the heat is really on. The Diamond Brothers, while there's his more comedic series or attempt at comedy, he's not really that good at comedy.
He's more of a serious writer.
Yeah, characters often get killed throughout these books. One of them gets impaled on a fence at the end, and he was like the villain of the story. Okay, let's move on to Bloody Horowitz, which is, as I said before, is a collection of short horror novels. And so the stories in here include a short fake introduction that he did, Why Horror Has No Place in Children's Books, which is about a woman who is an author, and she has like a PhD or something, and she's writing a paper on why horror should not be in kids' books and how she wants to kill every horror author who writes children's books, such as R.L. Stine and Anthony Horowitz. And then it ends with the chilling note that the paper was from a psychiatric institute, that she has been locked up the entire time. Off to a good start. We move into The Man Who Killed Darren Shan. Darren Shan is a horror kids book writer, and another man claims that he has stolen his idea for a horror series, so he decides to pretend to be a sick child in a hospital whose favorite books are Darren Shan's. So he puts poison on the envelope of a thing that he sends to him, so that when he goes to send him like a letter and autographed picture back and licks the envelope to close it, he'll get poisoned and die. Then the next day, it's like all over the news, the author has died. So, thinking he's gotten away with it, he's resting that night when the ghost of Darren Shan appears in his room, and eventually he confesses, terrified, that he did indeed kill Darren Shan, and then the lights in his room turn on, and it was a stunt pulled by all the police who had been investigating him for a while, and the person killed was really Darren Shan's secretary. And then that night, while he's sitting in his jail cell, feeling foolish to himself, a new mist starts to come into the room, just like the other one that had come into his room that night. And this time, it's the ghost of the secretary, thus ending the story. Bet Your Life, which is pretty much the Running Man. It's like a game show where if you answer the questions wrong, you get killed. It ends with the main character, the youngest ever contestant on the show, winning and surviving after watching one of his the friends he had made on the show get killed. He wins, and he's
Is that a real show, The Running Man?
No, Running Man was a Stephen King book.
What are you
Arnold
thinking
Schwarzenegger.
I don't know.
But and then at the end, once he gets like the millions of dollars prize, he goes outside where a helicopter comes down, and it's a from another reality TV show, a robbery show, where they go to steal the briefcase from him, but he refuses because he literally bet his life on all that money. So they shoot him, take the briefcase, and from his point of view, everything goes dark, and that story. You Have Arrived is pretty terrifying. It's about a gang who, their leader goes missing, so after stealing a car, shortly after the new leader and his second in command find another car and they decide to steal it, and they use the GPS, which is an old weird granny-like voice, and they drive it to a beach. They hang out there for a while, but then on the way back, it takes them through some dark forest woods as the tension grows thicker and thicker, wondering what's going to happen here. Then they pull up to some old barn shack, and they get out looking for help, for directions. Then, when they get out, they walk into the barn where, spoiler alert, there are the mutilated body parts of the former gang leader, and then an old woman along with a couple of younger men come at them with butcher knives. And the old woman, whose voice sounds just like the GPS's, says, "You have arrived," ending the story. And I could go on and on about all the books in here, the stories in here, but I think you should read them because they're all very good. Get this one. Grewsome Grange.
Is the final one?
Grewsome Grange is 13-year-old David Elliott he finds out he's like a wizard pretty much, and he's sent to Grewsome Grange, which is like a school for people like that, and there's like vampires and werewolves and stuff there. No, actually though,
So
people
Twilight-
have said it's like Harry Potter, but he did this before Harry Potter, so
Twilight?
really,
So it's like Twilight, Harry Potter.
I guess, but he did it before both of them.
Twilight plus Harry
So
Potter.
soon he starts, David Elliott in the first book, decides to try and escape Grewsome Grange, because he's horrified of what's going to happen. He doesn't know what they're going to do to him. There's like there's a headmaster with two heads and stuff. He's trying to escape.
That's why he's the
with
headmaster.
a friend who's with a girl who's that was terrible. with his friend, I forget her name. He tries to escape with her, but then what happens is every single night, pretty much every time one of them turns 13 years old, there's a ceremony, and they're given like a ring or something, and then suddenly they're all into all this magic and power and stuff.
It's a short.
So what he does is he tries to escape with her, but then before she can get out, she's like, the ceremony happens, it's her 13th birthday, yada yada, but his birthday is like right after hers. I think it's like the day after hers or something, and he tries to escape. He ends up getting caught and brought back. And at the end of Grewsome Grange, it actually surprisingly ends with him agreeing to stay and was becoming a wizard. This one, however, it says, a year ago, 13-year-old David Elliott would have given anything to see the end of Grewsome Grange and his ghastly teachers. Now he's on track to win the unholy grail. This sounds a lot like Goblet of Fire. Huh. Now, a cup of magical power awarded to the star student. But a series of suspicious mishaps is closing the gap between David and the new boy Vincent. It seems as though someone, or something, doesn't want David to win the cup, and maybe even threatening Grewsome Grange's very existence. This one, if you were going to look at Anthony Horowitz's books and guess which ones kill the most people, you would probably look at the Grewsome Granges and be like, Grewsome Grange, right? Let me look at the cover of this. Gruesome Grange does not kill anyone, and this book only kills one person, which is pretty surprising compared to pretty much a shootout in every single one of the Diamond Brothers stories. Pretty much every single one of the Bloody Horowitz is ending in murder. The villains all getting killed in every single Alex Rider, it's ridiculous. But now we're pretty much done. I just want to talk about a couple of other things. His films and shows. He created the series Crossbow. Real quick, Diamond Brothers actually had a TV series with the same actors from this show called The Diamond Brothers, based off of the book South by Southeast. It had 6 episodes. All of them were written and directed by Anthony Horowitz, but no one can find any of the episodes anywhere. So please, if you know where those episodes are, let us know, because I want to see them, please. And then he created the show Crime Traveler, Vanishing Man. He pretty much created Midsummer Murders. He worked on a lot of episodes of the popular show Poirot, based on Agatha Christie's books Hercule Poirot. He wrote the movie The Gathering. He created the show Foyle's War. And then let's talk about some controversy real quick. Before we do that, interesting info. He is the only author allowed to write books for the Ian Fleming and Arthur Conan Doyle estates, Ian Fleming being the creator of James Bond and Arthur Conan Doyle being the creator of Sherlock Holmes. Making the books the only ones canon to the original series. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. But anyway, since he's like the head person to talk to if you're gonna go make a Sherlock Holmes or a James Bond movie now, in 2015 he apologized. Controversy in 2015, he apologized after saying Idris Elba was too street to play James Bond, and other people also criticized the ideas of him playing that. Apparently, I'm not sure if this is true, but apparently Rush Limbaugh, that makes sense, and the actor who played Mr. Big from Live and Let Die, Yaphet Kotto, who died earlier this year. I didn't know that. But that's about everything. Tune in next time. We're going to be doing the Wondrous World of Dr. Seuss. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. See you next time.